Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel, Champions Ride with Troop Bus. We're here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're out here with the University of Georgia women's volleyball team playing University of Tennessee tonight. And then we're going to be going on up to Lexington, Kentucky, play the Wildcats, Tennessee, Kentucky. So I thought we'd take you on a little excursion around downtown here. A little bit of history. It's a nice, good, typical fall day here finally. It's in the 50s. A lot of people have never been really to Knoxville, downtown. And it's got a little bit of history and architecture, arts, culture. History of the, I'll show you the sphere of the 1982 World's Fair. And of course, University of Tennessee, the big cornerstone here in Knoxville. So let's go on a little journey around downtown. We'll show you Knoxville, Tennessee. As you can see, the fall foliage here, out here on the gateway to the Smokies. Still trying to hang on. We're looking at First Episcopal Church here in downtown, established in 1844. I'm going to show you a little bit of buildings here that are part of the old part of Knoxville that would really remind you of Williamsburg, Virginia, maybe, those kind of settlements. Because Knoxville began back in the pre-Revolutionary War days, around 1780s. Was a fort established here along the Fort Appalachian frontier. And again, we think about this, all this is the wide open Wild West here, the East Coast. So let's go out here and see some of the colors yet that are still hanging out. And I've seen a couple look like beautiful maple trees down by the federal courthouse downtown. So let's go. As we walk downtown, it's a good walking town. Get out here and see the sights, some of the buildings, the old and the new. St. John's Cathedral, Episcopal Cathedral in 1844. The U.S. Post Office, still in operation. You can really see kind of the old kind of decor and architecture. That was way back in the 40s and 50s that buildings were made of. A lot of granite buildings downtown, and gave it a little nickname of the Granite City. Old building, way back in time, still now it's part of the University Real Estate Company. Well, you can take you back here to the 50s, probably even 40s, being in that building. And we're looking at the modern federal courthouse, federal building here in downtown. Here's the cornerstone of the 1982 World's Fair that was here in Knoxville, the Sun Sphere. It's now hardly really being used, but it's the restaurant there on the 4th-story, the gold glass windows, trimming around the top. It's 266 feet tall, but it is a landmark of this World's Fair in 1982, which they said was largely financially profitable for the city. I know one thing, it really opened up the charter bus tour business. Hundreds of tours and day trippers coming down here to the World's Fair. Now Sun Sphere sits in the World's Fair Park right across from the Marriott Convention Center downtown. And school's obviously letting out. Methodist Church here in downtown. Still feel like, well, finally it got cool again and kind of warm here in the southeast. Mixture of greens, yellows, and we're going to see a beautiful maple tree here very shortly, full of red. Sun sphere rising from the back. It really is a nice little town to walk around downtown. Right now, currently, they say it's about 190,000 plus. So it's a good size to it, especially when you get into suburbs of the traffic and congestion versus the downtown. Fall in Knoxville is still hanging on. Not much longer though. Knoxville served as Tennessee's first capital before moving on to become the capital in Nashville. First Baptist Church. So many downtown cities have these squares where you almost have all the churches within about a block. If you go to Charleston, you'll see what we call the four corners of the law. Different churches and courthouses. The old and the new. I have a free trolley here downtown. It has different routes. Takes you around. It's particularly good to use at night. Parking can be somewhat difficult, especially when events are going on. So that's a good deal. Howard Baker, former U.S. Senator from Tennessee, United States Courthouse. Kind of get that feel of the Williamsburg, Virginia colonial look. Park right across the street from it. As we're going to be making our way toward Gay Street, which is the heart of downtown. Runs out by the Tennessee Theater. And we're looking out toward the river, Tennessee River, that flows all the way through Knoxville and up toward Kentucky. And during the nice spring, summer months, they have a paddle boat. You go on a river cruise here on the river. Takes you through the skyline of downtown Knoxville. You'll see the University of Tennessee Volunteers campus, which, by the way, is the home where Peyton Manning played his college football days. The Volunteers of UT, University of Tennessee. One of my favorite times of the year is taking in the fall foliage here in the park, and we're looking at the September 11th memorial dedicated by the city of Knoxville. City County building of Knox County here in Knoxville. Gives you quite the feel of being back in colonial Williamsburg. Looking back at the Howard Baker Judicial Center, Federal Courthouse. The third courthouse of Knox County. of importance here back during the Civil War. And again, this, they say, was a very pro-Union territory that eventually was ceded back to the Confederacy. But this was made into a hospital where both wounded for both armies, the Confederate and Union soldiers, were treated here. Different trials for the great train stealing incident, 1862. We had the great locomotive chase in Georgia. They were tried here and convicted. That's got to be an interesting backdrop. There you go, look at the trolley here. Just pulled up. Again, the Spanish War Veterans Monument here on the old courthouse grounds. (1898 to 1902). One more last look at the old Knox County Courthouse as we turn on to Gay Street going toward downtown. And we can see the famous Tennessee Arts Theater. We're right here at the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains. We're only about 20-something miles from Sevierville and then Gatlinburg. So for a destination to get all those area attractions of the Smoky Mountains, this would be a place you could consider making a camp base. People are friendly here. Just I was out looking around for some of the shots I want to take, and a gentleman stops and says, "What you looking for? I help you?" So it kind of shows you the kind of people here. Market Square is behind us here if you're going back toward the Tennessee Theater. Some upscale bar, pubs, restaurants, nice hotels back there. If you're ever coming down through a show here at the theater, Tennessee Theater. Look at the backside of St. John's Cathedral here on Market Street. You can see kind of the small narrow streets that leads up to Market Square. A little more of the fall colors as the reds are fading. We're inside here, St. John's Cathedral, beautiful Episcopal church. Going back to 1844. Beautiful pipe organs. Practice session here of the organist. You can always tell an Episcopal church, the red doors. we're back to where we started at. So, hope you enjoyed the little short tour around downtown Knoxville. A couple hours we'll head over to the game tonight. University of Georgia girls volleyball versus University of Tennessee Volunteers. Over here in the center, we're Pat Summitt, the legendary women's coach of the basketball team. Many wins in her career. So again, please hit the like and subscribe, get me over 100 so I can really start you going. And I appreciate it. So we'll see you down a little bit on the campus of the University of Tennessee here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to go to the Hyatt, or excuse me, the Hilton here in Knox County Library. You're okay. I was just doing a little video. Now, looking at the mascot for the University of Tennessee Volunteers, Smokey. Since about 1953, the Pep Club got together and decided to pick out a blue tick coonhound to be its mascot. Ever since then, they've had 4 or 5 or several live mascots, kind of like the Bulldog for Georgia. You come to a game here, one song you're always going to hear, a Rocky Top. It'll play in your mind for the rest of the day and the night. Well, we're now on the campus, the University of Tennessee, at the Thompson Bowling Arena. This is the home arena for the Volunteers men's basketball, women's basketball, and the volleyball program. And the site of concerts when they come here in Knoxville, the big touring concerts. One of the legendary coaches in women's basketball, Pat Summitt, head coach from 1974 to 2012. It's an amazing record. 1,098 wins to only 208 losses and 8 national titles. Pretty impressive. Now we're outside the gates of Neyland Stadium, home of the Tennessee Volunteers. Past home of Peyton Manning. One of the crown jewels of the SEC conference. One of the more larger stadiums here in America. Holds 101,000 and plus. But the largest crowd ever to watch a Florida game back in the early 2000s. They had 109,000 packed in fans. That's a lot of people getting out after the game. Welcome to the SEC. At the Manning Gate. Peyton Manning, back in his college days. Outside the front of Neyland Stadium, statues here to Condredge Holloway, Lester McLean, Jackie Walker, and T. Martin. All going back to the 70s, 80s. One thing that's known for its colors is the orange and white checkerboard. Well, we kind of snuck in here a little bit inside Neyland Stadium. 101,000 plus. As we're losing daylight here, overlooking the Tennessee River to downtown Knoxville. Remember, I appreciate it. And we're gonna head in to see the first game of the 2-game road trip here. University of Georgia volleyball versus University of Tennessee Volunteers girls basketball. Let's go!
Go by Fisher, point Georgia.